It's a beautiful shot. But when you enhance the video, the people are watching. The world is watching right now. I think the video is approaching about 50,000 views in just about 17, 18 hours now, and that's just on Third Phase Moon YouTube alone. It's blowing up. The world is waking up. We're not alone. What it is, we're not exactly sure. People are saying it's maybe some kind of a smear on the window within the IS, or maybe reflectors off a reflection of the solar panels from the ISS. But in my opinion, it's neither. I'm not sure what it is. A biological something is going down over planet Earth. This was captured in Sweden, and we wanted to thank the person that shot that. I'm going to be looking that up on my email to give credit where credit's due. That was an amazing submission from last night. Her name was Emily, and that's all she gave. But we have that photograph. It's going around the world. Everybody share it with your friends. People need to wake up that things are going down, and NASA is sometimes making mistakes. Guess what? Again, another amazing thing happened today. Art Bell spoke to him, the man himself, interviewed him. He told us about his close encounter, broad daylight sighting of a massive ship that he basically described that he could have thrown a rock at it. It was so close to him. And there's a lot to this interview. It's an exclusive that we'll be sharing shortly right here at Third Phase of Moon. Art Bell's coming back on his radio show here very shortly. We're going to be putting the links to his show. It was good to talk to him. His voice is great. It's amazing to hear how Art Bell's held it all together over these years. And we're excited to be collaborating. Breaking news as it goes. He's going to be, his radio show is going to be right after ours every Friday night. So everybody stay tuned for that. We got a couple people standing online right now that want to share their UFO experience. We have a person all the way from, let's go to San Diego right now, Third Phase Moon. Welcome. 949, you there?
Hey, what's up, Blake?
Hey, man, I know there's some stories you want to share on Third Phase.
I'll try to make it quick. Yeah, it's pretty heavy, and, I want to just, first of all, say that for all the newbies and that have been listening to you since you guys have been on the air, that's really cool, but understand that you guys have provided a sounding board that I never expected in my lifetime. And for everyone that thinks this is a big joke, maybe you need to turn off and check yourself, because I'm here to tell you that I'm a real person. I was in the service and on a South Pacific tour on a guided missile destroyer. I was on after lookout watch and watched a huge ship come out of the ocean on our port side. That first we were just looking at the twin screws along the equator kick up the green phosphorescent trails and thought that was really neat. But then off to the port stern, we saw a huge green disturbance in the water, and what came out, I mean, it was you really have to check yourself. Did I really see this? It's something I've never knew about. I didn't know about ISOs at the time. I'll just say it was early 70s. One of the people that were with me on watch, I watched it. Let me just tell you what happened. It came out of the water, went up about 200, 300 feet. At that time, the only thing I trying to look for relevance as far as size to compare it to something, and all I could say is it would have fit over the top of the LA Coliseum like a teapot lid on a teapot kettle perfectly, which means it had to be 300 to 400 yards. And the really trippy part was it sat with its left side, as I'm looking at it, towards the port side of the ship, which is the left side for everybody that doesn't know, and the stern is the back. It sat at a slight angle, so where the left side would have been at about 8 o'clock, and to the side to the front of the ship would have been at about 1 o'clock. So it was just at a slight angle. And the really trippy thing is, as you're sitting there in amazement first trying to gather your senses, is that's neat enough. It had very similar, and I never saw the movie till maybe that was on 3 years later, Close Encounters, but it did have almost like the old game Simon, where it had the different quadrants rotating in actually it was rotating in a clockwise formation rather than counterclockwise. And it had two sets of windows in the middle. And it was close enough to, believe it or not, you could see small figures, and then between every couple of small figures as I remember, my first attention was in the upper set of windows. There's like two sets of windows going around this craft with a slight border in the middle separating them, and you can see small oblong figures. It was that close enough to see, especially on the equator where it's that clear. And then there was something that must have been 9 to 13 feet tall, if I'm just assuming that the smaller figures were 4 feet tall. Just to let people know how real this is, I was a nuclear power electronics technician, which the Navy invested a lot of money in my education, and we got a lot more. We got a SRB, a selective re-enlistment bonus, which gave us a lot more money than most people make until they've start off at seaman, then seaman apprentice, seaman recruit, seaman apprentice, seaman, and I started off at a seaman, which gave us a much higher base rate. I talked to the guy. It eventually took off and just disappeared at the blink of an eye. I decided, my father was a master chief for many years. That's why I joined the service, because I thought it was honorable. But when I reported it, all hell broke loose. Went up to the officer of the watch on the bridge, and they tried to. I'm a pretty vocal person, and I said, no, this is what happened. I wish to report it. The next thing I knew, I heard the captain of the ship coming up the port walkway from the officer's quarters, stomping his feet. He was a big man. I don't want to say his name, but I can do it if I have to. He weighed about 240, 250 pounds. He went on to be a captain of another nuclear class, a Spruance class aircraft carrier, and he had his scrambled eggs on sideways. He was wearing his officer's bathrobe and his slippers, and what he told me was, Seaman so-and-so, if you don't wish to report this, I can guarantee you that you'll have a successful career in the Navy. If you do wish to report this, I cannot guarantee your future. Well, I went on to say, you know what, the way I was raised is you're supposed to look out for your country's best interests. I reported it, and as soon as we got off that South Pacific tour and got back to Pearl Harbor, I was prosecuted for being a homosexual, which I'm not. I can guarantee you, never slept with a man. I like boobs and everything else, and never have ever had any gay acts in my life. But it kind of hit me really seriously today, like, wow, I really need to go after these guys no matter what. I'm in my mid to late 50s. I'm not here for attention. I don't give a rat's ass. I wish people would believe this, because it is true, and I would never. It took me a long time, and I've known you for quite a long time, Blake, and I just never had the balls, or I guess, as you get older, you just say, F it. People need to know. I don't like people that call in and seemingly BS a little bit, and I don't like that, because that doesn't do this study of reality any justice. But I can guarantee you, if they were willing to
give me a general discharge in less than honorable conditions, being the son of a master chief and paying so much for my education and prosecuting me out of the service for being something that I wasn't. You really got to wonder, really trying to hide, and how deep does it go?
Deep. It goes real deep, man. And what you just shared right here live to the world. I know we've spoke about what you've just shared with the world, but we've had this conversation privately, and we've spoken
I didn't know,
about,
Blake, if I was ready to say anything, bro. It's kind of something that you're like, you really got to take a giant leap of faith.
Absolutely. Let me ask you this. I know we're in Los Angeles in April, and we're thinking about maybe driving out there in San Diego and doing an on-site interview. And what I would like is, it's been over 30 years since this massive encounter that you lost your basically career in the Navy because of it. Have you tried to get in contact with any fellow mates that?
Well, that's a good point, because I was actually going to say that, but speaking with you many times before off the record, I wanted to kind of keep it concise. But one of the things I did want to mention is, afterwards, I'm a pretty outgoing person, and I've met people that were in the service. And funny thing is, when you get discharged under less than honorable conditions, even though only thing you've done is what you swore your hand on the Bible to do, is to defend this country. And a lot of people have seen the same thing. But how effective is the system to keep people from telling the truth with the threat of losing your career, humiliation, and being basically made a disgrace to anyone that knows you or your family?
Let me ask you this. Was there you signed contracts when you joined the military, and some of them are non-disclosure classification.
I had a top secret clearance.
And how long does that last? When can you start going public, naming names, start putting the names down? When can go?
You know what? Whenever your conscience allows you to. If you're bound by contracts, no one's going to know anything. It's supposed to be 20 years.
So it's well after the 20-year this incident. So when we come back up to LA, let's get some names on location.
That's still I think we're pretty close to disclosure, Blake, but I also know that some people take it real personal, and they have the ability to. It's funny because I've gotten in trouble with law that I never should have, and it always seems like the worst case scenario happens, even though there's very little evidence or fact or reality in what they've said were my actions. And you get to wonder, wow, there must be some notes on the book that are saying this guy did this and this. Screw him. He has no loyalty, or he's a threat. It used to be gnarlier than it is now. But one of the things I heard that you brought up on your last show last Friday was that you were asking a guy whose uncle, who said he was younger than him, what's the period of disclosure? And he said he was now 47 and he retired when he was 40, but it's a 20-year disclosure. And that kind of also prompted me to say, you know what? Screw him. Just screw him. I got to tell the truth. Anyone that's listening, though, Blake, they really need to know something.
They're listening. Let me tell you this, though.
If you think I'm doing this for attention, you're freaking crazy. You're lying to yourself. It is not a comfortable thing to talk about, and I could give a god rat's butt about what people think.
Stand by. We're in the middle of the broadcast. We got about 30 minutes left. I want to get some callers. Maybe they have some questions in regards to this matter, and maybe we could collaborate some evidence from some other information and take some reports from around the world. Everybody stand by. Third Phase of Moon. We'll be right back. Third Phase of Moon Radio back on live, taking your calls from around the world. Wow, we've been talking, I think national security, and I think somebody just lost their job right there in the Navy in regards to maybe exposing national security. Let's get area code 949 back online. Can you tell us your rank and in what rank were you in exactly for listeners that have just arrived? And I got a couple questions. Go for it.
Sure. I was a nuclear power electronic technician seaman at that with E3.
All right. I brought up national security. We're going to be getting to callers. They're lining up. I appreciate everybody holding on, but I wanted to ask this question. Did you feel like Earth was in jeopardy when you saw whatever this craft was, or did you feel like this was something
Absolutely.
good?
That's why I said it. That's why I said it. My job and my oath was to tell the truth and defend this country. Now, if people that are high-ranking officers don't want me to defend this country, then they never should have given me the verbiage on the contract and what I swore to. So they can all kiss my ass.
Absolutely. I think well said. It's about time people stand up for your rights. I know there's a lot of people in the military that have seen lots of things inside. They just got to, unite. Everybody has to unite in this world and get this disclosure out of the way that we're not alone. It sounds like what you experienced over there is quite amazing.
This is Skid Vicious once again. I called in about 2 weeks ago.
Sid, yeah, go ahead, Vicious. Skid, what's up, man?
Yes, I just want to call in and comments to the most recent caller and the Sailor Navy guy.
Absolutely, he's online. Go ahead.
My hat's off to you, sir.
Thank you, brother.
I wish so many others would stand up like you, sir.
Thank you.
And may I say, I hope you feel the tingles in the back of the neck when I say you are an old soul.
Thank you, brother.
That is why you speak the truth. We are the 1%.
I think that you're right, Brent. I think you're 100% right because I feel like an old soul.
You feel
all our hair is standing up right now. It's quite amazing. It's
I have to say, you know what, bro? That is I got a warm feeling in my chest to match the tingles all the way up to my ears. Thank you.
Absolutely. And may the
You
whole
have a
world
lot of class, man. You have a lot of class. You're from the southern United States, correct?
I was originally born in Chicago, raised in central Illinois, but currently reside in Asheville, North Carolina.
Yeah, I remember you calling in. Thanks, bro, because, you stepped out of a bar to tell your story, correct?
Yes, I did.
Yep. Thanks, man. That's well taken to heart, man. And you know what, bro? If it wasn't for people like Blake and his brother, Brent, it's a godsend. It's a godsend. I wish the show was 3 hours or 5 hours or 24 hours long because there's a lot to say.
Absolutely. Well, we'll be back next week, Friday. You know that. Every Friday.
Thanks, kid.
We're on.
Thanks, kid.
And that's all I needed to say.
No, but you know what, Skid? Man, you're the man. You're the man. Thank you very much for the love and the support and the big huevos. Thank you.
Absolutely, and may that love continue to grow across the world.
Thank you, brother.
Amen.
Yeah, man.
That's right. It's just when it all comes together and people share knowledge. I thought that interview like last week with Vicious was quite amazing, stepping out of the bar real time. I think our radio show got a hit over 100,000 views, so people listen. All right, well, let's go to another caller while we're live. Third Phase of Moon. We got area code 619 from San Diego. Kelly, you with us?
Yeah, hey, how's it going there, Brent?
Hey,
what's
doing
up,
pretty
Kelly?
good, Kelly?
Hey, not much, man. I'm currently in the Navy, and that's pretty incredible story that you were told. I don't know, I've never been on a small boy, what we call in the Navy. You know what I'm talking about. But I've been on. I've been on aircraft carriers a lot. The last deployment I had was 2012. And it's crazy at night. We call plats where you can see like I wouldn't say infrared. It's more like where you can see at night.
Especially when you're hanging out in the hangar bay.
Yeah. Well, actually, I work a lot on the flight deck, so
yeah, that's even a better viewpoint.
Yeah, I was down in my shop in what they call the plat. So, I would watch my aircraft come in because I work with helos, or I've seen F-18 as they come in. But some of the stuff you're talking about, right before we entered the Gulf when we were coming in there's a few times in 2008, 2009. I always used to see it all the time. It'd be like following the aircraft carriers. There'd be light. From the plat, from the night vision, you could see in the sky. It was they looked like really bright stars, or looked like maybe aircraft coming in, with their lights really bright. But sometimes I would come outside and I run out to the flight deck and I'm looking into the sky and it's deep pitch black. There's nothing there, and so I go back down to the shop and I could see.
Well, especially when there's really no flight patterns in that part of the sea.
Correct. And the thing about it is that when I'm looking out there, if I run back down the shop, look down at the plat again, and through the night vision, and I see these things moving across the sky, they'd go next to each other, or there'd be 2 or 3 of them, and they would come across, they'd on from the one side of the screen, and they would stand still, so you can tell they were following us. But I thought they were aircraft, so again, because I've been in ufology for a while, so I run to the flight deck and I look at in the area they're at, so I'm waiting for I would sit there for at least an hour waiting for something new, something to move. But again, you see a lot of people that has been filming these things for a while. Hey
Kelly, real quick question, brother. Usually there's a pattern. Has your family or prior members of your family also had these experiences that have been willing to tell you about it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it fits a pattern, bro. It's almost like a cloning. They stay with the family, and they go through generations of generations, because it's once you're picked, it's like how we made Lilliputian horses and the miniatures, and it's once they find a family, it seems to go through generation of generation, because I can go all the way back through several generations, and in my very strict, really Italian family, everybody seemed to have a story, even though it wasn't a cool thing to say, throughout the older generations.
Yeah, what's weird is I've never really expressed this one, but I always talk with my wife about it. If you go through ancient writings, or even through time where they talk about the Nephilim, they said that they had 2 rows of teeth, or to figure out they had the same bloodline, they had 6 feet or 6 toes on each hand, or 6
right, it was multi-generational. Yeah, right.
Well, I still have that going down through my family. My brother was born; he was literally born with 6 fingers and 6 toes, but he had the bones and everything. And then my mom kind of tripped out, so she had it removed from him. One on one hand with 6 fingers. My older brother was born with 6 fingers on one hand. I got multiple cousins got 2 rows of teeth. They had when they were growing up, they had to more or less get them all pulled out. So it's
remember that all humans have webbing between their fingers and their toes, and we all feel very comfortable in water.
I don't know.
Absolutely.
I've never, on my side, I've never really felt like that. I was but you know what? Though, being in the Navy, it seems like I have a lot of military family that, where every time I get around the ocean,
you're comfortable in the water, bro, or else you would have been in the Air Force or the Army.
That is true, but there's times when I be by the ocean and it's weird. They always say the same. It's that you can hear the ocean, you can hear her calling you. And I even tell my wife, I can literally hear it calling me for it's almost like a sweet singing voice. It's something that's always telling.
Yeah, no, it's like a serene. But remember this, as you know, Kel, in the Navy, the first thing that you want to do, unless you have a calling, is go to freaking sleep after knockoff ships work. You're looking for your rack.
That is correct. That is correct.
Thanks, Kelly. I know you're a long-time caller, and it's real good, bro. And I feel a lot of love and support, because, as Blake knows, he knows that I had this story to tell, and a lot of other it's not a story. It's a recollection, and it's amazing how sometimes it takes 20 to 25 years to recall earlier things. But what happened in the 70s with me will never leave my mind, never. The things that are going on right now, it's almost acting like HAARP is trying to increase its capability or up in your face transparency, because that's the scary thing. If a commanding officer was so pissed off at me for reporting something that he should have been, well, good job, could you tell me more? No, there wasn't any tell me more, describe it, fill out a report. There was, if you don't shut up, you're screwed. And I got screwed.
You know, that's what I wanted to get back to, is that moment of the encounter. Right away, were you questioning yourself? Could this be a Russian?
No. I know. You know what it was like? It was almost like there was a force trying to make me forget. And fortunately, I'm a Virgo. I was raised with.
Do you think there's a plan of it? Do you think the military, like the commander, was aware that this was going to go down, or was it something that just went down?
No, but I bet you they were on watch, because what I found out is when before that South Pacific Goodwill cruise, we loaded projectiles at the Seal Beach magazine, and we had ASROCs and a twin missile launcher on the fantail of the ship. And what I found out was, and confirmed, because when we got into Auckland and Christchurch, New Zealand, when we stopped in New Zealand, there were a great number of people with signs and animosity when we had to delay our mooring because it was all about no nukes. So I also believe the reason why we were being watched and they made themselves known is because, and maybe that's why the commanding officer was so pissed off, is because it's like the event happened because we had nuclear capability loaded in our magazines. And it's real funny because right before we got into port, from a very calm ocean, it went to, I promise you, over 100-foot rogue swells and waves that we lost all of our capabilities in our secondary stack, which has a 2 Alpha and Bravo boiler, because we weren't Spruance class, which are engine turbines, but we actually ran on heating up a boiler, which consists of water and heat to produce the power for the ship. But the rogue waves that were shooting twin 100-foot streams over the P-51 gun mount, the bridge, the signal bridge, all the way over, hitting our ASPN radar, and then actually going into the secondary stack, and that they completely disabled the secondary stack, the alpha side of our number 1 stack, so we were only running on 1/4 of the power that we had, almost completely disabling us. And they gave us shots of alcohol because they were basically conceding that we're going to be in deep kimchi, almost DIW, dead in the water. And I promise you, for 7 days, I thought we were going to die. And I said, this is not the way I want to die. And, you know, man, I promise everything that I am telling you is 100 million% with my hand to whoever you believe in. This is the truth. And Blake, as you know, I've been very hesitant in forthcoming with this recollection.
Well, I could understand some of the hesitance. You know, we've been in this for quite a while ourselves, and I think the thing is, the best way to do this is share it as fast as possible, because once you get it out, you just can't shut it down, and then boom, you just did it. That's
Yeah, I feel
that's
a
how
lot
it's
better.
done.
I got to tell you, bro, I feel like kind of a heavy relief from the most inner core of my being. You know, that's all I can say.
That's what Third Phase of Moon's all about. We're going to get to some callers. Maybe some people have some questions for you. Let's go to area code 717. You're live, Third Phase of Moon. Welcome.
Hey, Blake, how's it going?
Hey, pretty good.
I just I'm tuning into your show now, but I just wanted to give you a heads up of where I live. Pretty much can see UFOs on every clear night here where I live.
Where is this?
I'm located in York, Pennsylvania.
Do you got any video equipment? You've been capturing these things?
Well, actually, I had sent in a message to you before. I have a camera, but it can't get the best footage of them because it just gets too blurry. You know what I mean?
Yeah, nighttime footage is pretty tough to capture. Absolutely. If it's broad daylight, any HD camera will do. But if you're going to go night vision, you're going to have to step up on some cash. So it's a bit tricky.
Yeah.
The best thing to do is keep your eyes on the skies. If you could get some perspective, a street light, something like that. But filming simple lights at night in the sky is absolutely one of the worst. It's the hardest thing you could do. So it's almost impossible. We get hundreds of videos that just never get seen to the world, unfortunately, because it's just a dot in the sky. When we have multiple structures and they're like doing kind of crazy things, then we'll post it up. But you just keep trying. You'll get something.
Right.
Appreciate the call in, man.
Yeah, no problem. And also with these, which I'm sure you've seen before, I have a green laser pointer that's really powerful. And when you shine it on, they actually move away from it, and they have more activity once you're doing it. I don't do it all the time because people think it's a plane, but I tell them, well, if you just keep staring at it, a plane doesn't do that.
Yeah, absolutely. You get better be careful with pointing laser lights at craft that you might think it could be a UFO, it could be a actual airplane, but I can understand people are out there trying to make communication. I've seen some videos out there. I think we posted a few. When it's a UFO and it's unidentified and it's absolutely not an airplane, hey, I'm not going to condone it, but hey, keep up the good work, and thanks for calling in. Keep in touch.
Well, I'll try to get a good video and submit it to you, but thanks again, Blake, and you do a great job. Yeah.
All right, man. We'll be standing by. You know that. That's what we do, and we love to share people's stories and videos. That's what it's all about. Let's see if we got any questions for the naval military person that's called in. 251. You got a question for our guest? 251, you there? 251's listening to the show. Let's go to, I know 406 might have a question. Go ahead.
Just glad somebody's out there, speaking their mind, and I think it's our God-given right to do that. But it seems like it's more like civilians, losing that freedom of speech, anymore. But that's why I appreciate your show, Blake, and I really do. And I appreciate getting people like the Navy guy right there on there, telling the truth, and the world should know.
I think,
set you free, man.
Freedom of speech is being threatened as we speak. People have sources. People want to tell stories, but they don't want their identities revealed. This is what journalism's all about, in the sense where somebody has something critical on something, some information that has to get out, but they don't want to have their life endangered. Well, freedom of the press doesn't have to reveal the source where it came from, as long as they feel that source is legitimate and it's the real deal. It's being threatened right now. They're trying to put the journalist away almost, and this is how it goes down in communist societies, and it goes down real fast. So you got to watch out. I pray to God that this all still keeps going, this freedom of speech action. Third Phase of Moon, as it comes in, we share liquid. That's why we like it.
Yeah. And I get ready to say, if like those lights you see, like the changing of the lights, I think if they lose their lights like that, I think they could perish. I mean, they wouldn't know which way to go. I think they could crash into each other. That's why they got that blink on that, and that seemed like that little one just really indicate, communicating with the big one. And that big one just flashed once in a while. And,
well, can I ask you, it's so funny, have you ever been mistaken for Ron Paul over the phone? You sound just like him.
No.
Leave it to Blake. Good one, Blake. Good one.
Well, it's surreal, but hey, you know what? Amazing show, amazing, just information that's come in. The world's going to wake up when we post this on Third Phase of the Moon. I can't wait for you to all watch what we do to get this video and share it to the world. The Navy guy, can we go by and give you a name, some kind of name to the world?
Yeah. Let me think of one real quick. Why don't we just call me F1?
We'll call you F1.
Okay.
Sounds great. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what, F1, we look forward to meeting you one of these days. We'll get some more insight, more on location detail. Let's blow the lid off this and maybe get some payback that you deserve for being unjustly let go. This is a bunch of crap, if you ask me.
Yeah, I kind of feel like this is payback, because anyone that's listening, I feel like I'm believable because it's the truth, and I'm not too. I don't beat around the bush. I'm very blunt, and I can promise you to anyone that's listening, this is real. I'm not a liar. A liar and a thief are two things I was taught not to be, and wake up and look up.
Well said, F1. Good name. We'll be keeping in touch. Everybody, incredible. This is what Third Phase Moon's all about. We'll be back again next week, Friday, every Friday, 12 a.m. if you're in New York, 9 p.m. Los Angeles time. Share your story to the world. Looking forward to seeing everybody again next Friday. Be sure to check out Third Phase of the Moon every day for new updates as it comes in. Art Bell's exclusive interview coming soon. Blake Cousins, keep your eyes on the skies. We'll see everybody again next time. Thanks, everybody. Wow.